In a small, dusty town in the Wild West, 3 cowboys were known for their skills and boldness. Jake was the fastest rider, known for his sharp aim and quick reflexes. He dreamed of riches to help his family and buy a piece of land of his own. Sam, on the other hand, was more clever than swift. He was known for his smart plans and traps, dreaming of adventure and the thrill that came with each bounty. Lastly, there was Billy, the quiet one. He was patient and observant, always waiting for the right moment to act. For him, the bounty represented a chance to prove himself and earn respect among his peers. One day, a wanted poster appeared in the saloon. It promised a hefty reward for capturing a notorious outlaw who had been causing trouble in the area. The news spread like wildfire, and soon all 3 cowboys were eager to claim the prize. Each one felt confident they could outsmart the others. As they prepared for their journey, they realized they were not just riding for gold. They were about to embark on a path that would test their courage, friendship, and beliefs. Little did they know that only one would return with the treasure. One sunny afternoon, the town's saloon buzzed with chatter and laughter. Suddenly, the doors swung open, and a man in dusty clothes walked in, holding a faded wanted poster high above his head. The room fell silent, eyes locked onto the aging paper as he read aloud. Wanted, Rex Malone, a dangerous outlaw known for his cunning tricks and daring escapes. The crowd listened intently as he detailed Malone's misdeeds. Robberies, escapes, and even a few brawls. The excitement in the air was palpable when the man continued. This rascal has stolen gold worth thousands. Whoever brings him in alive will earn a reward of $500. Jake's heart raced at the thought of having enough money to buy his own ranch. Sam immediately began to plot how he could capture the outlaw using his cleverness. Billy, too, felt a surge of determination. The chance to prove himself was within reach. As whispers of strategy filled the saloon, the 3 cowboys exchanged glances, knowing each would go after Rex Malone in hopes of claiming the bounty. The thrill of competition ignited their spirits as they realized this was not just about gold but also about honor and reputation among their peers. As dawn broke, the 3 cowboys readied themselves for their great adventure. Jake was the first to hit the stable, grooming his trusted horse, Thunder. He made sure to pack plenty of oats and water, knowing they would need energy for the long ride ahead. Alongside his supplies, he slipped a trusty 6-shooter into his holster, feeling the familiar weight settle at his side. Meanwhile, Sam arrived at his own stable with a map spread out under the morning sun. He studied it carefully, planning the best routes that could potentially trap Rex Malone. After securing some rope and traps into his pack, he decided to take along a couple of hand-drawn traps he had invented, hoping they would give him an edge in capturing the outlaw. Billy stood nearby, quietly observing both cowboys rush around. He preferred to prepare in his own style. While others ran for supplies, he took his time packing essentials like extra blankets, a few canned beans, and a journal to document their journey. With a calm demeanor, he mounted his horse and suggested they stick together at least until they reached the outskirts of town. As they finally set off down the dusty trail, excitement mixed with determination filled the air, each cowboy already dreaming of how they would use their share of the bounty. The cowboys rode out of the town, the excitement of the bounty driving them forward. As they ventured deeper into the wilderness, the terrain quickly turned rugged and challenging. Jagged rocks jutted out from the ground, making it tough for their horses to navigate. They had to be careful, watching for loose stones that could send them tumbling. Along the way, wild animals roamed freely. A curious coyote followed them for a while, eyes gleaming with mischief. Billy spotted it first and warned his friends to keep an eye on their supplies. They knew hungry animals could be tempted by the food they carried. Suddenly, dark clouds rolled in overhead, turning the bright sky gray. A fierce wind began to blow, rustling the leaves and whipping at their hats. "Looks like a storm's coming," Sam shouted over the howling wind. The rain began to fall in heavy drops, soaking them to the skin. Despite these challenges, they pressed on through the falling rain and muddy trails. The difficult landscape tested their resolve, but each cowboy felt a spark of determination. Nothing would stop them from capturing Rex Malone and claiming that bounty, no matter what obstacles lay ahead. After hours of riding through rain and mud, the Cowboys finally approached a wide river crossing. The water roared as it rushed over rocks, glinting under the breaks of sunlight that peeked through the clouds. As they neared the bank, Jake spotted Sam and Billy ahead of him. The three cowboys halted their horses, eyeing each other warily. "Guess this is where we meet," Jake said, trying to lighten the mood. Sam raised an eyebrow and nodded while Billy remained thoughtful. "You know we're all after the same thing," Sam began, his tone serious. "Not that I'm backing down, but maybe we should talk about our plans." Jake crossed his arms, contemplating. "I don't want to make things harder than they need to be. We know Rex Malone is tricky, and if we work together for now, we might have a better chance." Billy spoke up. "How about we agree not to cross each other's paths until we find him? We can meet back here to share what we find." Reluctantly, both Jake and Sam agreed. The river continued to rush by as they shared quiet respect for each other's ambitions before they rode off in different directions. Each cowboy focused on capturing the outlaw but united by an understanding of their shared journey. With their paths set, each cowboy ventured forth to track Rex Malone separately. The air was thick with rivalry as they rode through the arid landscape, each determined to be the first to capture the outlaw. Jake relied on his speed, racing ahead on Thunder, trusting his instincts to guide him. Sam, crafty as always, mapped out potential hideouts, plotting his course carefully and using his traps to outsmart any obstacles. Meanwhile, Billy took a more methodical approach, quietly studying the terrain and tracking signs left by Rex. As days passed, the competition intensified. They would occasionally spot each other in the distance, sharing tense glances that spoke volumes. Each cowboy secretly hoped to outmaneuver the others. Their rivalry culminated at a narrow canyon, where the jagged cliffs loomed above. The three men found themselves at a standstill, each standing in front of a different entrance leading deeper into the canyon, a place where they believed Rex might be hiding. The tension was electric as eyes narrowed and hands hovered near their holsters. In that moment, with fate hanging in the balance, they knew only one would emerge victorious. The stakes were high, and all that stood between them was unspoken trust and fierce ambition. As the sun rose over the canyon, each cowboy put his plan into action, eager to outsmart Rex Malone. Jake, with his speed and determination, decided to scout ahead. He galloped on Thunder along the narrow paths, his keen eyes searching for any sign of the outlaw. His strategy was simple: cover ground quickly and rely on instinct to find Rex before anyone else. Meanwhile, Sam took a different approach. He set up clever traps near the canyon's entrances, using branches and rocks to create obstacles that would ensnare the outlaw if he tried to escape. Sam's mind raced with ideas. He even used bait, a sack of food, hoping it would lure Rex into one of his traps. Billy, on the other hand, embraced patience. He found a hidden spot behind some large boulders where he could observe without being seen. With his trusty journal in hand, he noted any signs of movement or tracks left by Rex. He believed that waiting for the right moment would give him an advantage over his more impulsive friends. As they each executed their unique strategies, tension filled the air. They were all determined to bring down Rex Malone but knew only one could claim victory in this high-stakes game. After days of searching, the Cowboys finally caught wind of Rex Malone's whereabouts, an abandoned mine on the outskirts of town. As they approached the entrance, the atmosphere shifted. A heavy silence hung in the air, interrupted only by the distant echo of dripping water. Shadows danced along the mine's rocky walls, making every creak and rustle feel ominous. Jake led the way, his heart pounding with excitement and fear. He had heard tales of this place being haunted, but he pushed those thoughts aside, focused on his goal. Just behind him, Sam readied his traps and worked to stay quiet, while Billy checked his supplies and prepared for anything. Once inside the dark mine, Jake's instincts kicked in as he spotted a flicker of light deeper within. "That's him," he whispered urgently, pointing toward the glow. The three men exchanged tense glances. They knew this was it. In an intense moment, they stepped forward together, weapons drawn. "Rex, we know you're in here," Jake shouted, his voice echoing through the cavernous space. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows. Rex Malone himself. The standoff was set. With adrenaline surging, each cowboy braced for the confrontation that would change everything. In the dim light of the abandoned mine, the air was thick with tension as Rex Malone stood before the three cowboys. As they finally confronted him, a sudden idea struck Jake. He felt a surge of ambition that overshadowed his camaraderie with Sam and Billy. In a moment of desperation, he whispered to Rex, "You could pay me handsomely to help you escape." Sam and Billy exchanged wary glances, sensing something off. "What are you talking about, Jake?" Sam demanded, his voice low but firm. Billy couldn't believe it. They had come so far together only for one of them to entertain betrayal. Rex smirked at Jake's suggestion, seizing the opportunity. "What if I offer you double the bounty if you help me get out of here?" Jake's eyes gleamed with greed as he weighed his options, torn between loyalty to his friends and the temptation of riches. As suspicion brewed among them, Billy stepped forward, determined to expose Jake's ploy. "This isn't just about gold anymore," he stated firmly. "We either bring Rex in together or we risk losing everything." The tension escalated further. Now, not only were they up against Rex Malone, but trust was fraying among the cowboys themselves, complicating their quest for the bounty. After a fierce standoff, the cowboys managed to capture Rex Malone, securing the bounty they had fought so hard for. The atmosphere shifted from tension to relief as they tied up the outlaw and began their journey back. However, the victory felt bittersweet. Jake, still grappling with his earlier betrayal, felt conflicted about the gold they would receive. Though he had initially dreamed of riches, he now realized that trust among friends meant more than any amount of money. He quietly decided to share his portion equally with Sam and Billy, hoping to mend the rift caused by his earlier actions. Sam, on the other hand, was filled with a sense of pride and accomplishment. He felt validated for his clever traps and strategies that had ultimately led to Rex's capture. As they rode back toward town, he envisioned using his share to fund future adventures, eager to prove himself further. Billy, always the thoughtful one, reflected on the journey's lessons. For him, it was not just about the gold but also about loyalty and friendship. He expressed his desire for them to work together on future bounties, believing that together they were stronger. As they approached town, each cowboy carried different feelings about their victory, but all knew that their experiences had forever changed their paths ahead. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting golden hues across the sky, Jake rode alone down the dusty trail, a heavy pouch of gold at his side. The weight of the bounty felt both rewarding and burdensome. He glanced back at the path they had traveled together with Sam and Billy, memories of laughter and camaraderie flooding his mind. The shared struggles and moments of trust in the mine echoed in his thoughts, reminding him that this journey was about more than just riches. He recalled Billy's insistence on loyalty and friendship, and how Sam had outsmarted obstacles with clever traps. Despite having secured the gold for himself, Jake felt a pang of regret for how he had allowed ambition to cloud his judgment. As he rode on, he realized that true victory lay not in wealth but in the bonds formed along the way. Jake resolved to make amends with his friends when he returned home. There was honor in sharing their triumphs, even if it meant dividing the gold. With each hoofbeat resonating against the earth, Jake began to understand that while gold might glitter brightly, it was loyalty and friendship that shone brightest in his heart. As night fell, he knew he would seek out Sam and Billy to forge a new beginning together. As the stars twinkled brightly over the Wild West, Jake, Sam, and Billy's adventure came to a close, but the lessons learned would last a lifetime. They had set out as competitors, each chasing the same dream of glory and gold, only to discover that true wealth lay in their friendships and mutual respect. The trials they faced together, stormy weather, treacherous terrain, and the confrontation with Rex Malone, had tested their character and brought them closer. In the end, Jake realized that sharing the bounty with his friends was far more fulfilling than keeping it all to himself. Their journey showed them that while ambition can drive one forward, it is teamwork and honesty that pave the way for lasting success. As they rode back into town together, they vowed to support one another in future endeavors, understanding that life's unexpected turns often lead to deeper bonds. The cowboy life was full of challenges, but with friends by their side, they could face anything. This adventure had taught them that chasing dreams is not just about the destination but also about the relationships forged along the way. In the heart of the Wild West, friendship remained their greatest treasure.